Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to duel, to some degree, in the top of the map, playing in the blue color. His name is Kvoth, and he is playing as Uranus. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Loki. Already with the harassment with that Oracle. We've got action already in this game. His name is Zuccolo. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. It's round one. What does round one mean? Well, round one, this is the group stages of the main event. Effectively, you have to win twice to go on to the quarterfinals. That's basically all you have to think about is that. So win twice. Each group has got 4 players in it, meaning 2 games get played, and then you have a winner's game, and then you have a loser's game, and then you have a loser of a winner's game. Anyways, Berserk roaming through here, going to be dodging those arrows nicely, just scouting around, seeing what's happening in this main base of Kvoth. Super important to just get this information in, and he will be dropping that spy down, but where? But where does he drop the spy down onto this citizen right now? So he sees that food. He's going to have a really, really good understanding of what's going to be happening in the main base here for Zuccolo. He's just sharing that ox cart nicely on this spot. Already 3 dwarves on that gold tier. Berserk going to be retreating back, and I guess the question is going to be, where does he drop the temple? Are you going to put the temple in your main base? Are you going to put the temple forward? Are you going to put the temple anywhere? I don't know. He's got himself an early pickaxe here as well. As the house going to come down, it looks like Zuccolo almost got himself housed there. I don't think he needed both villages on wood. Doesn't really matter. Just a tiny little bit of loss of the resources there. But he's got himself pickaxe nice and early, which personally I absolutely love. I think this is, for Loki, such an important economic advantage over the fact that all the other Norse gods can't really afford to do this, whereas Loki can. And in affording to do this, it gives him an economic advantage, which kind of makes up for the fact that he doesn't have a different sort of economic edge. Nonetheless, the Uranus of Kvoth here, no early economic guild. 3 villages on the gold already, and we do have a cheeky little pause here. Not sure what's going on. Generally, they have to message us what's happening here with the pause. So apologies for this one. We'll just wait. I'm sure that it's not going to take too long. We'll just wait. I'll just fingers crossed it doesn't take too long. Generally speaking, when you see a pause in these sort of games, there we go. It's just a little bit of a technical issue on the player's side. They just have to fix it up. There's not really much need to involve the administration in this one. But nonetheless, we've got a fairly quick Oceanus. I say fairly quick. It's kind of slow to some degree. The quick Oceanus or the quick classical age is generally going to be more of a 3:30 advanced time. This is going to be closer to that 4-minute one. As you see, a Sky Passage getting dropped down, and already are we seeing oracles coming through? It looks like the answer is no, not just yet. It's just 3 oracles, and they're still getting harassed all over the place. Forseti is on the way. This is the big weakness of Uranus, and also to some degree Gaia and Cronus as well, is that if your oracle gets scouted out nice and early by a Berserk or by, I don't know, a nice myth unit nice and early, it's going to get killed off most of the time. But what you want to do here most of the time, I would say, with the Atlantean, is to just place your oracles into places that it can't get killed. You don't really need that scouting information when you've got access to a Caladria, for example. So that's an easy way to kind of keep those things alive, so to speak. Is the military barracks going to get dropped down over here to kick the game off? Do we see any sort of counter barracks? Looks like the answer is no, not just yet. Lots of resources to spend for Kvoth, but he's just going to wait and see what he needs to build based on what the Loki player is going to go for. And by all metrics, Loki here wants to go for mass Herser. But if you know that the Loki player is going mass Herser, which this Caladria here is going to be showing Kvoth, as soon as you see that Great Hall, you can kind of say, no worries, let's just go for the Murmillos. But as soon as you see barracks and as soon as you see throwing axemen, it's like, okay, now I have to get either Kyra Baluster out or I've got to get out those Terma. As the Caladria just going to be spotting out the back hunt over here. Going to be a little bit challenging for him to get those raids off. So the Caladria just going to pull back home. And we even see a raiding cavalry coming out nice and early here is in the main base for Kvoth. Another military barracks coming up. A couple of hero Murmillo to start getting created in the main base here. And Kvoth is going to feel very, very comfortable just building these Murmillo to kick this game off. As Zuccolo swings down to the bottom side of the map here. The villagers on this position, they have been spied, so this is going to be a really, really nice early attack. But the villagers can just jump into that sky passage and just simply retreat back. Also defending this one, he doesn't even need to run. He can just use the villagers to attack. As his Murmillo are going to be popping out here. The Caladria needs to get back over here, start helping heal out as more and more units are just going to sweep through here and force Zuccolo back. Zuccolo can't really take this fight. Caladria is now in. Taking these early game fights is generally detrimental as the Caladria is just so obscenely strong. You look at that heal onto that Murmillo hero. One Ursa down and Zuccolo already on the back foot in this game as he's going to have to pull all the way back. Those raiding cavalry should be able to get back alive, but this Ursa is not going to be long for this world as Hall of Thanes is going to be coming through, but too little too late. 2 kills there for Kvoth in the early game. That gives him all the advantage now moving forward. But Zuccolo now sees the mass Murmillo getting produced. Whether or not he saw that before, I'm not 100% sure, but he's going to be dropping a longhouse and he's now going to be able to start making those throwing axemen. Lots and lots of wood in the bank, and he's going to be able to do something here. That's the army of Zuccolo yet again going to be moving out. He's now got himself the 5.2 speed Hursa, which compared to these 5 speed Murmillo should mean he can retreat away, but 5.8 speed Murmillo heroes can be a little bit of a pain there getting some snare shenanigans in as Watchtowers needs to come through. And Kvoth, he's already got his eyes set onto this position as a raid's going to be coming into the main base, but a quick garrison away from Kvoth. Very, very quick on that reaction there. As Kvoth now sweeping in. Oh, you got to be so careful about this. Shockwave is still in the bank to hit that position. As soon as you see no units in the main base, you've got to ask the question, where else could they be? As Zuccolo, he's still attacking down this mana on this position as the army now charging in. Zuccolo does spot this and reacts quickly, but not quick enough as the Shockwave in. 2 villagers down, 3 villagers down, 4 villagers down, 5 villagers down. Every single one of those gatherers have been taken out. And in the main base here, we've got some units coming over to target down the sky passage on this position here. There's a sky passage at the top here for those citizens to simply just retreat away from. But Kvoth not paying attention onto this one. He might be losing quite a few as these citizens getting sort of trapped in onto this side. He doesn't manage to get the trap there. 1 citizen goes down as the rest do manage to get out of that position as the raiding cavalry coming back in, but they're going to get sniped down as Kvoth is cleaning up these Zuccolo units beautifully. Sky passage on the bottom here getting tapped out. Not going to matter that much as there's nothing really over here anymore, as I would be imagining that Kvoth would probably just delete that moving forward here. Differential in this villages is looking pretty stark at the moment. Already 6 population differential, though it's not, I mean, it's not a huge problem, but it must be a huge problem. I'm not sure exactly where all the 7 villages down. I would expect this to be a little bit higher for Kvoth, but maybe Zuccolo's gotten some good amount of damage here as the raiding cavalry getting pacified up there. Did he use both of those at the same time on the same thing? He did, right? Yeah. You can definitely pacify for, I think, up to 10 seconds if you got 2 of those if you use it more manually, but it's kind of a challenging ability to use to some degree. Nonetheless, does manage to catch out even more units over here as Zuccolo is just trying to delay, but he gets caught out. Raiding cavalry down, tango down. The population differential in terms of military is still in favor of Zuccolo in this game, and he does have a healthy amount of throwing action at this point. Only a handful of those Terma. It's going to be a challenging attack right now for Kvoth to make work here with those throwing axemen as the Carnivora gets placed down, but the Hursa are already getting that damage done onto the Carnivora. It's already taken out. The Troll coming through as well onto the back over here as the throwing axemen need to clean that up. They're not going to be doing that when we see a Draugr spawn. That's not the Einherry spawn here that Zuccolo was really wanting, but he does manage to clean up the Murmillo hero, but the troll is down. Throw and Axeman going to be getting some good kills yet again, but more reinforcements coming through for both players here. Zuccolo needs to get some more units out to defend. Raiding Cavalry on the back here, going to be taking out the Murmillo, and Kvoth, a little bit too much of an overcommitment on that fight as the army for Zuccolo is going to be able to push back here. This game is not done just yet, ladies and gentlemen. As Kvoth on the retreat path, population differential still in favor of Zuccolo to some degree, as those Caladri here just chilling in the middle. And not only that, look at the favor pool for Zuccolo. If this isn't a troll angle right now, I don't know what a troll angle is. Big shockwave coming in there for Kvoth to catch out these units in an attempt to just kill off a couple of them. Personally, I'm more of a fan of using the shockwave to kind of use on that fight, but Kvoth gets out a raiding cavalry kill and another one on the back there as the army going to be pulling back into the main base. We still haven't seen any trolls coming out just yet. That's 84 favor in the bank at the moment, as he's got a lot of villagers on food. Armory going to be coming down as well. Another angle here is to obviously go heroic age and then just mass battle boars. That could be absolutely huge. Onto this position, we've got those Herso raiding cavalry swinging into the top side here, looking for some sort of raid to happen. All the villagers at the top, and in classic Kvoth fashion, he's got the gold mine in the last gold mine you'd expect him to be on. He is on, as the Herso managing to come through. There is one potential kill here. Can he get the surround? No, he cannot. Good reactions there from Kvoth. Gets back into those buildings there. Armory going to get completed, and the raiding force of Zuccolo looking a little bit confused as to why it's here. Oracle going to get left on that spot, as the army of Kvoth now starting to move forward here. Looks like Zuccolo not really producing all too many units at the moment. Kvoth here now starting to engage. He does have the stronger army on this point here, as Zuccolo gets himself a Draugr spawn. That's going to be absolutely huge here to get that damage done. Throwing Axeman getting so much damage done from behind here, but Kvoth's micro with those Terma to take out the Throwing Axeman does manage to allow him to win this fight, as now Kvoth here, he's going to continue to look for villager kills. These gatherers retreating down onto the back here. We've still got the raiding party looking up to the top position here. Raiding forces still looking for more units here, as the villagers going to be able to pull back in underneath the gold mine, but does lose two of those as the wall is going to go down. Population differential is still very, very close in terms of military, but Kvoth is well and truly in front in terms of civilian units here, as the rest of these units here for Zuccolo need to come back over here and sort of group up to defend on this spot. Any sort of retreating allows those Terma to get some serious damage, but a huge misclick there from Kvoth as another Carnivora gets dropped down. Now a big troll spawn in for Zuccolo there, as there's not really the Hersa in to clean up that Carnivora. There they go, finishing that one up, as the Thrown Axemen need to pull back. The units here for Zuccolo still not in to defend. He's got a lot of gold in the bank, but it looks like Kvoth has caught Zuccolo out in a big, big way. Dwarf kill coming in, and Kvoth going to be retreating back as these units still searching around for something to take out on this position here. As you see a market coming down, selling resources at this point is an option for just a little bit here. But now Kvoth making the very smart decision to just pull up through Hyperion. And then what I want to see here, or what I think is a great idea, is just to either hold that chaos for flaming weapons, or realize your opponent can't get heroic age and they're going for a mass army and then use it on that, right? So the two sort of different options to go for. But it looks to me like... Oh no, did he just sell? I think he just sold. I think he just sold food there. Or bought food there, trying to get to the heroic age, as the villagers here retreating back. Now he's got no gold in the bank, as Kvoth's army charging forward here. Troll will be able to throw that big boulder to get some serious damage done, but Kvoth realizes he's overcommitted ever so slightly. In that fight there. More trolls are going to be coming out, and like I said, this is This troll angle is always an option. Get hammer troll, get all the trolls out, build a second temple. It's so good, especially when you hit the heroic age to boot there, as these units on the back here still trying to find some army to kill. Caladria coming through, the Terma are back here, and they do spot these Deuterinos over here as the raiding cavalry charging forward has to leave that house not finished there as well, as the Mamillo are going to be chasing this down. But this is going to give Zuccolo the time he needs to get the gold he needs to potentially build some battle boar out and also get himself up to population. If he can get full population, Flaming Weapon starts being very... What is this town center? Kvoth. What is... That's not a town center you're allowed to take. That's a town center in the middle of nowhere. And Zuccolo does not have the spy on that one. He doesn't have a spy anywhere, actually. Looks like he might have killed that citizen that had that one. Is the raiding cavalry going to push over onto this gold mine here and at least push him off there? Zuccolo does not see this gold mine at the top corner of the map there either, as more trolls coming through. Still no hammer troll in. Hammer troll, for those of you who don't know, it increases that special attack damage by a ton. It's a must grab technology, as the chaos getting dropped down. Oh, and he uses the special ability on his own units there, as all the thrown axe are getting cleaned up, and now Zuccolo has to retreat back yet again. Half of his units, I don't know where the rest of his units are. They're over on this spot trying to take out some citizens that are targeting back here, as the army of Kvoth is just so massive at this point, and there's not enough army here to use flaming weapons here, as the trolls all going down. And Zuccolo, in this moment, decides he can no longer fight back, and Kvoth finds game one in this best of 5 series for the main event. GG, well played by Kvoth. There's going to be at least 2 more games to go here. We'll see if Zuccolo can figure out exactly what needs to happen to be able to beat Kvoth. I feel like he had himself a decent position here. Yes, he lost 7 villages early, and that was a big mistake, but he won that big fight early on, and then he just needed to use that favor. I feel like if he used that favor, he would have been in a really good spot. Taking a quick look over here at that favor account, you can see, look at this favor, it's up to 150. I think the troll is what, 15 favor, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Let's have a quick look. It might be 14 favor, 15 favor there, right? Imagine just having out like 6-7 trolls with cave troll earlier on. Nonetheless, we'll get going into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a fantastic time hanging out with me. And we'll see you in the next one. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2, main event for Wrath of the Gods here in the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Ra. His name is Kvoth. And in the left-hand corner of the map, with the most beautiful hill you've ever seen, he's playing as said. His name is Zuccolo. It's currently 1-0 for Kvoth in this best of 5 series here. Really solid start to the series for Kvoth. Zuccolo going to have to pull something out of his bag of tricks in this game. Now look at this map for both players. Beautiful town center on this side here for Kvoth, and he's about to see how beautiful it is just as this obelisk is going to be coming up. He's got a gold mine here. He's got a cliff here. Beautiful wall can get thrown up to grab this gold mine. Over on the other side, however, not as great on this left-hand side of the map. That town center down the bottom, very challenging. But 2 very back town centers on this map is going to be a very boomy map on this one. Nonetheless, let's see how this thing's all going to go. Relics on the map. We've got ourselves the Canopic Jar of Imseti, minus 25% of current infantry train time. Over on this side, we've got the Cathara of Apollo, movement speed plus 10% of the base. Over on this side, we've got that Fatal Furry Sledge. This one, I think, in the Egyptian mirror is really, really important because it allows you to get more Migdols out while also getting you those technologies and all the other good stuff. Over on this side, we've got that Gungnir Odin Spear. This one could be nice for Zuccolo if he wants to go into Spearman. The problem that I see with Spearman, and with Slingers to some degree as well, is that breaking the Chariot Archer ball when you go for barracks units is very, 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 very difficult. That being said, if you force out that Chariot Archer ball, you can then kind of transition into Camel Riders. But then if you transition into Camel Riders, you have to be ready to go back into those Spearmen in a heartbeat. Otherwise, you just start losing straight away to the superior Ra Camel Riders. So it's a very, very challenging matchup here from the set side of things. We'll see what Zuccolo can come up with. Now, the more I play this, the more I realize, you know what? It's one town center angle or bust seems to be the best way to go. But that doesn't necessarily mean the game needs to finish at 15 minutes. Or it doesn't necessarily mean you have to just resign at 15 minutes if you don't get the resignation out of the Ra player. Sometimes you can get the game in a position where you've got enough of an advantage that that bonus HP that Ra gets on his Migdol units is not enough to kind of get the foothold back in, and then maybe the Ra player is going to lose on that second gold mine or that third gold mine. So we'll have to wait and see what Zuccolo is going to go for. A whole bunch of other ideas here would be you go for an all-in villager rush onto a second town center. You get yourself enough gold, you get yourself out 2-3 priests, you get all those animals over here, and then you can push in Shifting Sands onto this town center, grab this position, grab that gold mine, and then you can just go for that classical fight while you're trying to strangle gold on the other side of the map here. Let's take a quick look as to what Zuccolo is actually seeing. He's yet to see the gold mine for Kvoth, but he does see his own town center. He does see his own gold mine. Not a bad position, or not, I wouldn't say a bad position, but not a terrible situation to be in when you realize what that means. It means you know that there's going to be that situation for your opponent. There's so many villagers on the gold here for Zuccolo. If we take a quick look over to Kvoth as well, what's Kvoth going for? Villagers already making their way over to the gold mine. The walls already coming up onto this position as the vision does get dropped down here for Zuccolo. What does he see? He doesn't see the town center. Oh, he does see the town center. You could make a guess that there is a town center over here. He's seen the villagers have moved off the gold, but Kvoth, very smart here. Very smart. He pulls, he waits, and then he moves to the town center. There's not going to be any sort of all-in attempt here to go through. Kvoth goes, whoop, let's freeze. Let's not do anything. Let's pretend like nothing's happening here. Could be a one town center fast heroic. But no, the town center is going to come up very, very smart from Kvoth to avoid that all-in. As Wadget's now going to be on the way. Now there is an opening onto this gold mine. This gold mine is absolutely out in the open, ready to get spat in onto by those Wadgets. And Zuccolo kind of knows this. He can harass on the berry bushes on the front. This is some really, really good harassment. There's no goats, it seems like, for Kvoth at this point either. There's only goats over here. Yes, all the goats are over here for Zuccolo. He's got every single one of them. So no goats for Kvoth means this pressure is going to be actually quite strong, and Kvoth will have to go for probably a fast farm here, which really, really slows him down. And also you spend a lot of gold on that, which can be a big deal. Plus there's a Shifting Sands, remember, which means if Zuccolo can set up on the front here, he can get a lot of good damage done as the Wadget's trying to push forward. I'd love to see him come over and hit this gold mine. He does see it there. He sees the villagers there as well, but he's pulling back for some reason at the moment. As searching down to the bottom side of the map, looking for what's happening there. He will spot that Gungnir Odin Spear. Definitely worth picking that one up. The priest does have itself that upgrade, Hands of the Pharaoh, so it can grab that one. But he's giving all the time over in the world to Kvoth, and this is all he needs. Any amount of time here is just absolutely huge for the Ra player in this matchup. He's also got that gold coming in at the top position here. If he comes through and breaks that wall down, he can put pressure over here as well. But it's looking to me like Zuccolo, he's going for a fast heroic. This doesn't mean that he needs to go for Migdol units, though. He could continue to just pump out Wadgets as an idea. Like, I could think of, if you go double Monument here, triple Monument here, and then just go Fast Heroic, and then go Wadget Spearman as an idea, that could be enough to kind of dissuade those Chariot Archer balls, because they're not going to kill off those Wadgets all too fast at 260 HP, 25 pierce. You're going to lose a lot of Chariot Archers if you try and do that, potentially. So we'll see how things are going to go as Zuccolo dropping the mining camp onto this position here. We are seeing that Clairvoyance Tech has come through. Nephthys on the way. Man, Kvoth, I think he's gotten away with so much here. I'm so upset. Zuccolo made a really, really nice early game idea with those Wadgets and the Priest, but he just didn't put the foot on the pedal to just stay in here and continue that pressure. Farm's now coming through for Kvoth. Kvoth is I wouldn't say he's too far away from the Heroic Age, but he's going to be hitting that very, very shortly. Personally, I'm a big fan of this. We'll go into the Heroic Age, getting the food in nice and early before farming, and then you get all of that food a little bit later. And look at all the farms. He's got so many. God, Kvoth does not care. He doesn't care about any sort of all-in coming his way here from Zuccolo in this one. As Sobek going to be on the way as well. Couple more obelisks coming through here in the middle of the map. As the Gazelle, or the Giraffe of set coming through, we see Migdol Stronghold Siege works. So it's definitely going to be some sort of an all-in here from Zuccolo, and he still doesn't know there's a gold mine on this site. Again, he should know to some degree if you count all the gold mines on the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He knows that one's missing. But it could be down the bottom. It is missing, and there is one missing over here as well. So he's really missing quite a lot of the map for this moment here. Siege works coming up, as Chariot Archers are going to be the unit of choice to kick this off, as a Spearman scouting out exactly what's coming for him. With already that Sobek in, I can already imagine that Kvoth's idea here is just take me to the Mythic Age. Build 2 Migdols straight to the Mythic Age. He's still got rain in the bank. With how many farms? What is he waiting on? He's got 24 farms here. He's going to be getting himself that Skin of the Rhino as well. It's so important because it makes your villagers stay alive for an obnoxiously long time. As the siege towers are slowly going to start coming in. We've got elephants coming through as well. And there's not really another option other than a Shifting Sands timing here from Zuccolo. With the way that he's playing, with how many villagers on wood and everything else. Let's look at the food already. Is there a market up? There is a market coming through for Kvoth as well. So he can actually sell food if he wants to here. And be completely fine. It's the siege tower slowly starting to move forward here. And the Wadget is going to be able to counter this siege tower because he does true damage. This is still the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Look at how much damage he's done onto that siege tower already with a ranged unit. Nonetheless, Priest coming through, going to be pushing that Wadget back. 2 Wadgets here could be used to get a huge amount of damage done as the forward base of Kvoth slowly starting to get taken out here. We've already got that Dark Water technology on the way as the army of Zuccolo is slowly starting to push forward. Scorpion Man has been taken out on the back there as the Zuccos are in, and look at the damage they're getting done here. They're able to clean up both of those Wadgets on the back here. Some Priests trying to push forward. Does he have Nebty at the moment? I don't think he does have Nebty just yet. He might. He does have Nebty, so they are getting some good damage. Ancestor's going to be getting dropped into the main base here as the Priests, they are getting cleaned up. There's no more answer to these Pitsukos. At the siege tower is pushing forward. Kvoth now going to just push over here and start shanking down those siege towers. The Pharaoh does get taken down. That's going to be a big, big assistance there. Whole bunch of Camel Riders and Pitsukos in on this spot as they're going to be holding in a big way. They got a huge amount of bonus against those minions as well. Still not enough Priests in this position for Zuccolo to get that damage done, and he has to retreat back here as Kvoth has held in a really, really big way. And then what? And then what for Zuccolo? I mean, the only real option that he's got here, in a way, is to just get a whole bunch of priests out, maybe shifting sands on top of the Pitsukos and try and snipe him down. But then your opponent's also got shifting sands to utilize. Oh, the siege tower throwing away 300 resources here. Zuccolo just sends that one forward unknowingly. Town center at the top of the map here going to be going up. And look at this. Kvoth still has got rain. I think he's just forgotten that he has it. Sometimes I play Isis and I forget I have prosperity as well. So, you know, it is what it is. So Camel Riders moving up to the top side of the map. They're not going to be able to break through onto this position, completely walled off there by trees. But Zuccolo will be able to get some chasing in, as the Camel Rider is going to pull back behind this position here. Walls coming up onto this front here, trying to secure the map, but there's just not enough presence on the map just yet. Some Scorpion Men are coming through for Zuccolo. Lots and lots of food in the bank. As there's the rain, and a Mythic Age is on the way, and it's going to be Osiris. So big Osiris coming through. That's going to be Son of Osiris, plus a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, on the other side, it's kind of looking like Zuccolo is also going Mythic Age as well. He's got the 3 town centers through. He's got a Mythic Age that can come through anytime soon. Meteor on top of the Son of Osiris, on top of all these units, could be a way forward, especially when you go for that Valley of the Kings as well. But the army of Kvoth is just getting so obscenely strong. Look at the army upgrades. Already full copper compared to just the copper weapons for Zuccolo on the other side here. And a whole bunch of barracks now coming through for Zuccolo. Part of me feels like the better option would have been to go for Horus, just on the fact that Tornado, the army, rush in the spearmen while the tornado is going on to surround that Son of Osiris. Maybe a kind of idea to try and clean that one up. You've also got Shifting Sands to try and jump the Son of Osiris, but again, Shifting Sands is available in the reverse as well to kind of keep that one alive. But this is the big unit to deal with, as Zuccolo now is going to be under a lot of pressure. Those Camel Riders are not going to be caring about all too much happening here. We've got that leather frame shield on the way. Zuccolo with 4 barracks. He's got the spearmen ready to come through, but no upgrades for them just yet. But Kvoth spots it. And I mean, what does he do? Does he go, all right, spearmen are coming. Do I build out some chariot archers? Or does he just say, I've got enough damage, enough firepower in these Pitsukos that you can't really do anything against this? The Spirit of Mark coming through. Question in the chat, is the Slinger meta dead? Well, Slingers only do 0.5 divine damage now, which is effectively half as much. Well, it is half as much damage that they were doing. And it seems that people were unaware that you could go through... What's it called? My brain is only saying Sobek at the moment. Sekhmet to get chariot archers, which would be good enough to take out those slingers. Nonetheless, the army pushing forward here. Son of Osiris ready to join up. As the Mythic Age is about to hit here for Zuccolo. Now, he does have this position scouted. He does have 3 town centers. He is in front by nearly 20 villages, but he's very, very far behind in tech. Champion Camel Riders with Desert Winds on the way, plus a ton of these units. We see the Meteor coming through here as the army charges in. Son of Osiris gets sent flying. You have to get the damage done onto the Son of Osiris in this moment, as the Meteor only kind of half HP. Does he have himself that upgrade? Doesn't look like he does, but he's going to be getting some good damage done onto Son of Osiris on the back here. Son of Osiris going to be retreating away. Does have ballistics there as the Locust comes through, and the army of Zuccolo gets disintegrated to some degree. We've got the Phoenix sitting on the back here as well. More units coming in. Those Animals of Set going to be a big meat shield at this point, but there's just so much population here as the Son of Osiris coming back in yet again. Now at half HP. A couple of catapults coming in at this point. What are they going to be able to do? At the moment, they can siege down the Son of Osiris to some degree. He does have 99% crush armor as the Phoenix flying above, attempting to hold on this spot. Heavy Spearmen not going to be enough. The Chariot Archers queued up with a big amount as those Spearmen coming through very, very slowly, it seems. as Kvoth is going to be smothering Zuccolo's forward base here. Zuccolo is very well spread out on the map, but look at the income. Look at the resources in the bank here for Kvoth. He's at full population. He's got the champion camel riders. He's got the Son of Osiris. He's only got a quarter of HP remaining here, but he doesn't care. And he's only going to be making these camel riders at this point, sniping down the Migdol stronghold over here, sniping down this Migdol stronghold as well. You got the crenellations coming through in an attempt to give him some sort of an advantage here, as these Migdol strongholds are not going to last on this position. As the villagers popping out here, the Migdol stronghold going to be falling on the back here as well. Chariot archers going down. Siege works going down as well. As the chariot archers pulling back into the main base, and there's no buildings. We've got another Migdol coming up onto this spot. I mean, at this point, I would think if he threw down like a ton of barracks, maybe, just maybe, he could be okay. This village is getting sniped down over here in the main base, and Kvoth. I mean, this is crenellations on this thing, but no guard tower technology, so these towers aren't going to be doing a whole lot at this point in the game. And now Kvoth is getting himself a third town center up as well. The game is, like, technically speaking, not over just yet. But the question is, how is he going to deal with this army?
Gary.
Is a full population spearman army going to be enough? Shifting sands coming through. Where is it going? It's going onto the back of this town center. He's bringing villagers. Migdol stronghold going to be coming down on top of this position here. And that town center is not going to be long for this world at all. He's also going for Secrets of the Titans to add insult to injury at this point. Kvoth is not messing around in this game. The small spearman force here of Zuccolo is looking mightily weak at this point. And in that moment, Zuccolo does tap out. GG. Well played by Kvoth. A really, really solidly well executed game. The big moment to some degree here for Kvoth was patience. Patience on moving for the second town center. Patience on when he's taking fights. Patience on how he defended the ancestors. Zuccolo, on the other hand, felt very, very rushed. I feel like he had a really, really nice map here to put that early pressure on. He had the two Wadgets, maybe building out a third, fourth Wadget here while he was pushing to just push off of this gold mine, push off of this food, force the rain early, force the gold on this top position to get mined out nice and early, and then you can push into that main base and just call it a day. Wall off the top position here and keep that villagers off that gold mine, but Zuccolo didn't really read that situation perfectly, and Kvoth finds his way very, very quickly to a 2-0 lead in this best of 5 series. Taking a quick look at this resources here, it's actually closer than I expected. It's actually closer than I expected here in terms of resources. But as is always the case, the military tells a very, very big story here. 86-45, lots of villagers killed as well, and that's the game. We'll move on to game number 3. Hope you guys are having a fun time, and we'll see you in the next one. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3, spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Kvoth. In the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Hades. His name is Zuccolo. Zuccolo having a bit of trouble competing with Kvoth through this series here, but It's another game. It's another you. It's another me. And it's another Zeus versus Hades on Kurlauga. I've already been on a slight rant about this one. I know the top players. I know how they think. I understand what's going on here. Effectively, there is two thought process going on. Why do we... So the question is, why are we seeing this matchup so much on this map? So the first thought process is, well, where else do I play Zeus and Hades? That's a big one, because it's like, well, I need to pick these gods, but I also need to pick these gods and get an advantage with picking them. So I don't want to pick them on a map where they're not going to be advantageous to pick on. So that's one reason why they're getting picked on this map, because they know that these gods aren't a terrible idea for the water. The second reason is a little bit more of a silly reason, so to speak, in my opinion. It's just that they go, well, these two gods, everyone's playing them, and I don't need to go and practice anything else, so let me just always pick this god here, so I don't need to practice anything else on this map, and I'll just pick those gods on this map, and then it saves my ability to need to kind of prepare, so to speak. For me, I think there are... Let me go through the gods I think are fine on this map to pick. You've got Isis. I think Isis is completely fine here with a fast heroic, cancels Eclipse on the economy into whatever Chariot Archer spam you feel like and all the other good stuff that comes. I think that Loki and Thor are completely fine here with the idea that you get a food boost, you get Forseti, you get Berserker with Mithril Breastplate into Bragi, into Tyr. You can really, really have a lot of fun with those early game and find a lot of advantage. Loki also can make those Hersa, for example. Thor can also make Hersa as well, but I think going for those Berserker nice and early is really good. The next thing would be, for the Atlanteans, I think Uranus is completely fine here, and Gaia. I also think Cronus isn't terrible here either, with the idea of mass Prometheans. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of good options on this map, and we have seen a lot of different matchups on this map through kind of previous iterations. Like we've seen like an Atlantean mirror of the Mister versus Recon on this map, where I think it was like Gaia versus, I want to say it was Uranus. Struggling to remember at this point, but we have seen a lot of different matchups. So I think it's those two reasons. So if anyone's wondering why we see this quite a bit, but that doesn't mean that this hasn't been entertaining. We've seen some very, very fun matchups in this, very, very fun games in this matchup. A really fun one that comes to mind was Kvoth versus Ulysses. If you haven't checked that one out, it is available on YouTube, so go and check it out. In the, I believe it was the quarterfinals of Qualifier 3. Very, very fun map. Very, very fun matchup. But yeah, we'll see how these guys are going to kind of go, what they're going to go for. Now, the reason for Hades and Zeus is just simply because they've both got access to Athena, and that gives access to the Athenian hoplite, which gives Sarissa, which is really, really good. It helps the reason why it's good. All right, let's explain this. The reason why Sarissa is so good isn't because of the bonus damage. Plus 10% onto your hoplites isn't that big of a deal. But the reason why it's so good is the plus range. It's plus 1 to range for the hoplites. Every single melee unit has got 0.75 range, I believe. 0.75, I believe, on their kind of melee attack. Then they get 1 extra range. And what does this actually do? It effectively allows them to get fighting faster, which means they're doing more DPS in a fight. By more than plus 10%. It's like if your hoplite would be to attack like for 10 seconds or something, and it starts attacking 2 seconds earlier, then it's gotten itself 2 DPS more, which ends up being a crazy amount more over those 10 seconds of fight. So it's a really, really big deal. Nonetheless, House coming down onto this position here, and do we see any of the military? No, it's just an armory here for Zuccolo. Whereas on the other side here for Kvoth, he's got nothing. Oh no, he's just hit the classic ledge. I'm silly. Okay, he's coming in. We'll see what he's going to do, but Zuccolo looks like he's going for a fast heroic. Now, the fast heroic isn't a terrible idea because you can actually curse any sort of early game units that come through, and this isn't really an option for the Zeus player. Where it goes, the only kind of weakness I would say as we do see a Pentaconta coming out to deal with this Juggernaut. The Juggernaut going to get taken out. Where it does get a little bit challenging. Wait, Zuccolo's only gone for like a tiny amount of fishing ships. Okay. Interesting. I like the idea. We'll see how it's going to go. But as I was saying, the time at which this goes kind of astray is that how do you deal with the enemy heroes that can easily clean up your Skylar, or the enemy Bolt, or anything like that. So this could be, the idea could be to not quite go for an all-in. He's got a lot of villages on favor here. That's a lot. That's 6 villages. He could be going for mass Skylar. He could also be going for mass Nemean Lions as well as another idea. Nonetheless, Kvoth now starting to move forward. Minotaur is out. We've got another Minotaur coming through. Hoplites are on the way. He's got the double military academy in. There's nothing to harass at the top side of the map. As we do see Vault of Erebus on the way here for Zuccolo as well. There's the heroic age in. And the Skylar is through. Do we see more Skylar? Yes, we do. The Skylar is going to be coming in as the Pentaconta are all through. Now, Pentaconta are actually a really, really good counter to those heroes. Because these bad boys are doing 25 damage in attack. 16.7 hack per second. So they can take out those heroes very, very quickly. Meanwhile, over onto this side, the units charging forward. Zuccolo does get caught out of position, almost losing that Nemean Lion as he has to retreat back into his main base. Bolt there coming down onto one of those Skylar as the Pentaconta are charging forward here, but there can be that Sentinels to come through. Military Academy going to be coming out as well. Can make those a pacifist if necessary. As the Pentaconta charging forward, still trying to take out fishing ships onto this side. It's a big investment to get this damage done, as the Skylar coming through has not gotten any heads in just yet. And this is the big problem. If you have heads, then you have the advantage. No heads, your opponent can easily come back. Fishing ships all on the bottom here do get sniped down, or they got deleted or something. I'm not 100% sure. As Kvoth can just garrison in onto this position. He's got one fishing ship in there. Heroes now coming through as the Pentaconta are in. Look at that damage they're getting. Don't tell me that's nothing, because that's something there. Pentaconta are that big unit on the water for sure. As the Minotaur now coming over onto this side. So has to be careful. One Pentaconta does end up getting sniped down. As the micro here, very challenging it looks like for Zuccolo. Looks like he's going to get sniped down as well. As it looks like he's not going to be able to find those heads. Dionysus is going to be coming through. We see a town center on this side here for Zuccolo. Doesn't really secure a whole lot in terms of gold, but it's going to be very sneaky there. As the hoplites into the main base here, still no sentinels to come down. As Zuccolo playing this one very, very slowly, so to speak. As the Minotaur managed to come through, and that's going to be Tango down. And the question is, I think the question is he did. Did Kvoth go bottom side first or not on this stock? Or otherwise he's going to get the Skylar up the top and it's not going to matter. Answer is? No, he went up to the top. So this Skylar is going to be a little bit of a wasted free Skylar for the moment here. But the town center is up for Zuccolo, and this could be enough for him to kind of sneak his way into a position where Kvoth isn't going to be able to find an easy win. Now, the big advantage for Kvoth here, and he's really good with it, as playing Zeus, is 4.9 speed hoplites. And just harassing all around the map and getting all the advantage with these bad boys. As Zuccolo now going to be retreating back. Archery range coming down onto this position as well. Do you see a little cheeky villager coming up here? Might be looking for a stray dock at this point. As another Skylar is in to try and take out this dock of Kvoth. But I imagine Kvoth is going to send... Nope, all his units are pushing forward now. Got to be super careful at this point. If your name is Zuccolo, he does have the curse in, and he will be dropping that one. As the army charging in onto this position, there's not really a whole lot of counter units here. Restoration coming in. Bronze coming through. Restoration for Kvoth as everything has been blown on this position here, as Zuccolo are going to be retreating down to the bottom side here. He's got to pull back into his main base. Is probably the guess with that Sentinels to come through. Sarissa now in, as those hoplites are now going to have a huge advantage on this chase down as well, as the Zom comes through, and that is a lot of damage packing in those Sentinels. The Minotaur charging in here. They're going to take down. Look at that damage onto the Sentinels. It takes it down so quickly. Zuccolo is in a lot of trouble here. He does have a decent amount of units, of the bronze has finished up here, as the myth units are going to get cleaned up very quickly here with some good micro from Zuccolo. The army might be overstaying here underneath this town center tower sentinel situation here as well, but the army is continuing to flood through. More Hypaspis coming in. Chiron gets sniped down. If the fastest hero to get out is going to be that Ajax, but he doesn't have the resources for it at the moment, but it doesn't matter as the Hydra is being taken out. We've got a fortress in onto the front side here to claim this gold mine. There's going to be no gold in the bank here now for Zuccolo, and this is a very challenging position to be in now at this point, but 900 gold in the bank, that's a big help. 900 gold means a lot of those Hypaspist and archers, and for what Kvoth sees, he doesn't know Zuccolo's on 2 town centers. Zuccolo is in front on the villager count at the moment by just a tiny margin at the moment, but he's struggling for food, that's why. But a tiny margin of advantage for Zuccolo and villagers, which I guess is counteracted by the fishing ship shenanigans, as Nemean Lion going to be coming through here in an attempt to support as the unit's getting sniped down on the front there. Nice defense. It can Kvoth get this gold staff off. Now, whenever you're in this position, as he does scout out with that Katoskopos, the town center over here, whenever you're in this position as the aggressor, it's really important to get that line of sight in. See this gold mine. See this gold mine. See this gold mine. See this gold mine. Just have vision on everything. That's what's important. Archery Rangers now coming down for Zuccolo. Does he have himself a market or anything? He doesn't have a market. He's already spent all of his gold. In fact, he's getting himself golden apples as well. I mean, he doesn't have any food-based myth units here. They're all just costing gold, as the hoplites are just checking out onto the bottom here. We do see villagers sneaking down to the bottom gold mine. Is this going to be another sort of situation where Hades gets away with it, is the big question. As the Nemean Lion's going to be pushing down into this bottom gold mine. They can get themselves some villager kills down here, but the army of Kvoth is now making its way over to the town center. Differential in army is absolutely gigantic at the moment. It's 84 to 31. Doc going to go down here. Some very precious gold gathering seconds getting accumulated here for Zuccolo in this position. As Kvoth, he is just going to continue to spam hoplites. Why build anything else when you can just build hoplites, he says. Oh, he's got a couple of Toxotes in there as well. The town center on this position here will be going down very quickly. The village is going to be repairing it back up. Units coming in over onto this side. There's 67 favor in the bank right now for Kvoth, as he's getting very close to a secondary restoration in this game. As the Peltas can attempt to take out some of these units here. Heroes can jump onto that. Hydra, nice and early. The town center attempting to get repaired back up, but it's not going to be able to be done at all. As the Peltas are able to take out those Toxotes nice and quick, but the Hypaspis numbers are just too low here to deal with the hoplites, and Zuccolo will need to retreat back. The villagers, however, on the gold tier, as more units are going to be coming up into the main base here. More units are falling. And Zuccolo doesn't want to play it out anymore, as Kvoth claims the clean sweep here in our first game of the main event. Insanely good play here from Kvoth, but it's not over for Zuccolo. He does have a losers match to go and play on Saturday. Saturday is the day of reckoning, so to speak, for these players. But the first game done. Congratulations there for Kvoth. Solidly well executed game plan here. In all honesty, Zuccolo just could not get hit on the ground here. I think just not going for that top water and not really getting what he wanted out of his sort of faster advance is kind of the problem here for him. As you can see in this sort of post game, as we'll see exactly what's happening over here. You can kind of see this all resource total. It's just ridiculously in favor of Kvoth for no real great reasons apart from just civilian unit advantage. Look at that. That's just fishing ships, I think. Obviously, he's going heroic age here, so that's why he flatlines at this point, but that's just fishing ships. 41 to 29. That's huge. Nonetheless, if you guys enjoyed the series, enjoyed the tournament, definitely hit the follow button. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.